This is a silly season style episode. Sicko Satchel questions galore. We answer probably yours if you wrote it, because we got a lot of time to answer some of these questions. Plus, is there any jealousy at all over the way that Ace Bailey has performed in the preseason with Utah? That's all today. Locked On Hornets.
You are Locked On Hornets, your daily Charlotte Hornets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
In a minute, cuz we live.
It's Locked On Hornets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free and available anywhere you get your podcasts, and that includes YouTube. Check Doug Branson out on everyhornetsboxscore.com. You can check him out here on YouTube if you want to, but you can also do it on everyhornetsboxscore.com. Also check him out on Yahoo Sports Daily. You can't see him there, but he's there. I promise you, he's behind the cameras.
Feel my presence.
It's there. I can feel Doug Branson's presence every time I watch Yahoo Sports Daily. Jason Fitz, I can see him, and I can see Caroline Fitton. I'm Walker Mail. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Every weekday, again, 12 to 3 p.m., 92.7 FM. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com right now to get started. It's your world, Doug. Sicko Satchel questions galore. You asked the people to deliver. Boy, did they. They understood the assignment. Where do you want to start? You can start wherever you want to.
Let's start with some good memories from Schumann of the 22nd Mullins Regiment. By the way, if you want to join the Sicko Brigade and put your Sicko Satchel question in, you can do so at joinsubtext.com, subtext.com/LockedOnHornets. Okay, Schumann asks this. One of the best memories I have of the preseason was being pleasantly surprised watching P.J. Washington play for the first time. It wasn't earth-shattering, but it left me with a feeling like we did a thing. We did a good thing. I am now eager to replace this memory, so what would be the best omen for our squad this preseason? Now, I'm going to stop there because Schumann wrote this a week ago on October 7th, and we've had a few things. We've been trying to get to these Sicko Satchel questions. It's mainly my fault for taking us on all the diversions that I take us on. So he wrote this a week ago. So I say that because he does suggest a few things that he might want to see as a good omen, but some of these things may have already happened. So let's see. Let's read his list. Okay, so these are examples of good omens. TJ showing us some impressive progress. Uh-oh. that doesn't happen. Kon Knueppel being a dead-eye shooter.
Yeah, really. That part hasn't necessarily been the case.
With a habit of making the right play.
Now, that has been the case. Yeah, 5 turnovers the other day. That wasn't amazing, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Our new addition vets turning us into, quote, serious people.
Okay. And, yeah, I think we've had some nice vet play. So I don't think these are entirely missing the mark.
No, and again, these are essentially predictions, right? I mean, because they were a week ago before we had some of these preseason games to really dig into. So I just wanted to read those because I thought it was interesting, to sort of go back into the past right before these preseason games really kicked off in full force. And yeah, some of these things have come true. Some of them haven't. I will say, to the addition of the vets, we heard from Charles Lee via Rod Boone of the Charlotte Observer, and Charles Lee was waxing poetic about how much Collin Sexton has turned into a leader for this team, how quickly he's turned into a leader for this team, how much the young guys in the locker room respect how competitive he is. And he said competitive joy, but I was sort of reading behind his eyes, and I'm starting to think that maybe competitive joy means being a bleep hole sometimes, right? It means like, I'm going to have joy whooping your, like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what competitive joy might be.
Yeah, he says that every time when he's asked about Collin Sexton, and I think it's genuine. I think he loves Collin. And so perhaps, again, I was starting to ask the simple question last episode with the who starts at 2 conversation. I'll ask another simple one. Do you bench your leader? Probably not. You could. I know that you can have those guys come off of the bench, but are you benching your leader, your emotional leader, the guy that you brought onto the team for some emotional yuspa for Kon Knueppel? Probably not. So as we get a little closer to the opening game, probably Collin starts. That's where I would lean right now, even if I flirted with the idea of Kon starting for quite a while. Okay, what new memory? I like that he wanted a new memory. It's like, all right, I'm done thinking about the good old days of PJ Washington performing well in the preseason. I understand that sentiment all too well. Right. I love the way that this question was phrased. I think the one for me, Doug, it would have been Tidjane Salaun coming in and looking like he belongs in the rotation right now. That would have been nice. Because Kon Knueppel, if he comes in and he plays well, one, you almost expect it with just how smart of a ball player he is and how much he brings an immediate skill with his shooting to the table. If he struggles in preseason, I'm going to be less worried about that in the handful of games that he would play. Tidjane was a 6th overall pick that felt like a reach, but it was the right time to take a reach because of the guys that were there. You didn't love any of the prospects, so let's just swing for the high ceiling with Tidjane Salaun. Maybe you take a swing, you close your eyes, you swing, and who knows, the baseball's out of the ballpark. Maybe that's what happens with Tidjane, but you would also like to see some kind of floor get there, and it feels like you just feel the wind right now off of the swing because the baseball's in the catcher's mitt and you're going back to the dugout. That's what it feels like right now. We can't say that his career's over and done with. I would have liked to have seen Salaun make some serious progress this preseason where he looks like he belongs, at least to some degree, in the rotation.
Well, my advice for Tidjane would be to open your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes when you swing a bat. You should open your eyes when you're swinging. You don't want to hurt anyone.
He's learning. He's young. He has look. It's going to take some time before he realizes he needs to open his eyes to shoot.
Like that would have been nice to see. I think to me that would have been a bonus because I'm already sort of reconfiguring my expectations of the probabilities of Tidjane Salaun working out for the Charlotte Hornets. I'm just I'm preparing myself for a softer landing on that. And Kon Knueppel is helping that a lot, I think, helping me work through that. So,
yeah.
What?
Well, it's funny. Like the reason I laugh is because I would say there are lots of times where I'll hold on to hope for some of these guys longer than you do. I think historically, I think you have been more so on the Tidjane train than I have but I've not been out on Tidjane. It would be silly to write him off, but I think you have held on to, hey, give it time, but man, I can see it. I like what I see. It's going to be there. It feels like this is different in tone from Doug Branson than what it was Summer League before Summer League. And you've never been unrealistic about Tidjane at all. It's just that it felt like you had a lot more hope than some people did, even myself. And it feels like that's changing with some of the ways that you've talked about Tidjane this preseason.
Well, look, I'm an analyst before I'm a fan. When it comes to this show, like if I'm sitting down in front of my television, I'm a fan. But if we're talking, if we're chatting up, if we're doing a little ball talk, then I'm going to put my analyst hat on. And my analyst hat wants to look at the progress from year 1 to year 2 and ask myself, what's Tidjane's runway? And what I mean by that is he's got a certain amount of time to where the Hornets have to make a decision on whether to retain him or not. And then I'm also looking at that runway and seeing like, what other planes are scheduled to jump on that runway and take off before Tidjane, right? So, I look at Kon Knueppel. I look at they drafted 4 rookies. I just look at this and then I pair that with what I think is a lack of noticeable progress. And I'm sure if you ask Charles Lee, he would say like, I've seen this in practice and I've seen that. But I don't see a rotation player right now. Maybe he's in the rotation because of Grant Williams' injury, blah, 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 blah. But like on a team that's competing, I don't see a rotation player. But what I was really saying is that would have been nice, but that wasn't the omen that I was really looking for because my expectations are being reconfigured. The omen that I was looking for, and I think I have found, is a team that seems top to bottom to be giving more effort on the defensive end and also buying in to actually playing with pace, like an erratic pace. Now, look, execution, not there. Very sloppy. Is that preseason? Is that just them not being able to play that fast right now? I don't know. We'll figure all of that out. But I'm seeing a team that's really playing with an intensity level that matches what Charles Lee has been screaming about for a season and a little bit now. So like that's the omen that I looked for, and I found it.
Yeah, it feels like a more memorable preseason, if preseasons can be memorable at all. It feels like one of the more memorable ones with seeing the vision. I can't tell you that I saw the vision previous preseasons. I see the vision here with Collin having a great first quarter where he goes for 12, and then it's Trey Mann's turn, then it's Kon Knueppel's turn, and we have the center rotation. Moose is going to start here. Ryan Kalkbrenner goes 7 of 7 in his start. LaMelo just looks already in rhythm before we even get to the season, which that's a nice bonus too. I mean, even I'd be fine with him not having the crazy shooting nights, but he's been very efficient and he does look bigger out there, man. So it feels like this is a better basketball team straight up than what we've had in previous preseasons, and that's where it's kind of hard to stave off the hope. I'll allow that. That's where I put my fan hat on. The analyst hat, when the analyst hat and the fan hat are one and the same, things
Fanalist.
are good. For the positive. Yeah, for the positive here. The fanalist hat, it's looking good. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere!
More Sicko Satchel questions. We'll go rapid fire. When we promise rapid fire, we mean it. And we meet those expectations. And we'll go through our rapid fire observations in the Sicko Satchel coming up next. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right, pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it gives me so many different ways to play. I've built parlays, tried player props, even followed the live lines during games. It makes watching football even more exciting when you've got a little something riding on the action. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. This episode is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, hi, that's me, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you, and you can also link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNBA. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Okay, do we have any more outdated Sicko Satchel questions, or are these either evergreen or up-to-date Sicko Satchel questions? What you got?
No, I think the rest of them are all up to date. I mean, some of them deal with the past, but they're up to date. Casual Hindu writes in, would you offer up Walker's first newborn for the entire team to be healthy and make the finals? No championship.
Would I offer my...
No, it's me. This is a question for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm glad I don't have to answer this. It just saves me from a lot of pain. I just don't want to answer this.
Would I offer up Walker's first newborn? No, I care about you, Walker. I can't. I answered this biased because there's a lot of jokes that you make before you have a kid that suddenly, when you have a kid, are not as funny. It's kind of a reality. You're like, oh man.
Yeah, because it's still a funny question to me. Sorry, I was laughing probably a little bit harder. So one day I'll learn.
Well, that's good. Let me turn it. Would you sacrifice my firstborn for a completely healthy team? Finals, no championship.
I'm glad you answered first because I might have a different answer had you not answered first. No, I kid. And it's important to say that, by the way, just so nobody gets it twisted. Yeah, I would sacrifice. That's always the question.
What would you give up? What would you?
Right. What would you be willing to give up? I've been addicted to ice cream a lot here lately, and I just need to give that up for my general well-being because I'll put down a whole pint. Ben & Jerry's, I'm not going to eat a quarter of it or a third of it or a serving size. I'm going to eat the whole pint. And I think just for my general well-being, but also for the Hornets, I would give up what is my favorite thing to eat, and that's ice cream. And I think that's the best answer I can come up with right now. But it's a big sacrifice. Don't kid yourself.
I like that. I like this Hornets Lent question here. What would I give up? I think the thing that I really depend on most in my entire life, I'm sorry, producer Katie, it's coffee. Coffee it's just like, it's number
Caffeine's
one.
A big one for me too, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but see, that's the thing is I think I could get the caffeine in other ways. Black tea, I don't think I could give up caffeine, but I could, I think, and this would be difficult because I love the taste of coffee. I'm a black coffee drinker. I don't believe in all of this, cream, sugar, nonsense. No flavorings of any kind. Just give me black coffee all the time. And I love the smell of it. I love the taste of it. I will drink decaf at night sometimes with a piece of dessert or something because I just love the taste of coffee. But for a Hornets team to be fully healthy and make the finals, yeah, I'd give that up because it's so special. I mean, I honestly get a physical reaction thinking about the ticker tape coming down on top of Giannis Antetokounmpo hugging his coach, who would then stab in the back like a year later, and Mike Budenholzer. but
it was warm then.
I get an emotional reaction thinking about that moment and all those people that were in the Deer District. I mean, honestly, I get an emotional reaction thinking about the last playoff series. This is how sick I am. 15-16, like that. Those games before Purple Shirt Guy ruined everything and Dwayne Wade learned how to shoot threes again. Like those moments, even the tough parts, even sitting in Midnight Diner after Game 6, knowing that they were going to lose Game 7 and eating the biggest piece of chocolate cake you can imagine. Like imagine the biggest one and then double it. That's the size of cake that I ate after that in just pure depression. And yet I felt something. You don't feel anything not making the playoffs. You don't feel anything getting blown out of the play-in. I didn't feel anything when they got blown out of those play-in games. You feel something being involved in a playoff series. So I would not give up coffee for a playoff series, but for a finals run, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, that's you go to Milwaukee, I go to Indiana, where I do have lots of people surrounding me that are big time Pacers fans. I mean, I grew up going to Pacers fans, maybe even more so once I went to Indianapolis where my dad and that side of the family resided. And I really did try to split it 50-50 between being a Pacers fan and a Hornets fan. And then the Hornets just eventually would overcome all the fandom. But I still had love for the Pacers and getting to watch everything they did on that finals run. I mean, Indianapolis, who has a special relationship with the sport of basketball anyway, to see their professional franchise get within maybe an Achilles tear of winning the championship in Game 7. Those are also crazy, painful moments in the end. But wow, the journey that you go on to get there. I would love to see that happen here in the Queen City also. Final thoughts, and then maybe one more Sicko Satchel question before we move on.
We'll get to another one here in just a second. I do want to say that this isn't a difficult question to answer, really, in terms of just feeling my feelings on it, because as a reformed or maybe a Panther sicko in remission, Tepper cured me. I do recall the 2 runs to the Super Bowl and they lost. And I would never, as painful as both of those experiences were, I wouldn't give them up for anything.
Right.
Because you also got the NFC Championship game. You also got X-Clown. You also got so many other memories from those 2 Super Bowl runs. Yeah, it sucks that they didn't win it. but who cares because you got the run. Okay, here's one more.
They're almost. Yeah. Well, no, it's almost the conception of your fandom that you're sacrificing, and therefore you don't have any more conceiving of younger fandom because they just don't win anything, and that's tough. So yeah, it matters. All those moments matter.
It baffles me that we have a fan base. It baffles me.
That's what I'm saying.
Not to think
we have people that watch this.
I mean, I say it a lot, and I think it's gotten numb to people. They have not won a playoff series in 20. It can drink. It's like 22 years now. Like, that's insane that this team has any fan base at all.
Yeah, that child is drinking a lot, by the way. I feel bad for that kid. The playoff drought kid. Yeah, that person is hanging out at the low bar. We got to kick him out during closing time quite a bit. One more Sicko Satchel question. What you got?
This is Anita of the 24th Plumley Division writing that I think Casual Hindu, who is my brother, asked a sacrifice-like question. So I will keep mine focused on the evil spirit. If there was an exorcism, a cleansing ceremony at the Spectrum Center before the season starts to guarantee a healthy roster, what evil spirit is still haunting the building and that is most important to ward off?
It's a great question. I love this question. You know what? I actually think this curse might be cured. I think this was. But one curse that I desperately wanted out of our existence, Doug, it was the Nick Batum curse, when he guaranteed a victory against the Philadelphia 76ers. And it was when the 76ers were tanking on purpose. It was the whole process Sixers, right? Batum got a little too big for his britches and guaranteed a victory on what he thought was the worst team in the league, and they were. And then the 76ers win, okay? And TJ McConnell afterwards in the post-game presser says, you're not just going to punk us. You're not going to come in and think that you can walk all over us. And then the Hornets, I think, would go on to lose. I think they'd win one game, and then they would lose 15 straight against Philadelphia or something ridiculous like that. Anyways, I think Nick Batum is a place I go. I think he's too harshly criticized at times, but also I can't help but go there. That's first. That's my surface level take off of the rip with this question. What do you go to immediately in wanting to exercise from the team?
I don't think I imagined this. I have a very distinct memory of the Hugo blimp. This is like retro, like Charlotte Coliseum. I think they called it Air Hugo, and it would drop. It would do the parachute drop, right? I distinctly remember that thing having an accident and like coming apart.
Oh, it does. No, you didn't.
Okay.
No, there's a GIF of it. Like, yeah, there's that happened. That's a thing.
Okay,
yeah,
great. I just couldn't. I was thinking about it. I was trying to find a picture of it online, and it kept giving me like Hindenburg disasters, which is what this franchise has been for the past 22 years. But
Hornetsburg.
That's what they need to exercise. That's been the curse, like that thing is dead and it is haunting the building. That Air Hugo blimp is still haunting the building, Slimer style. It's the library scene from Ghostbusters. Books are flipping all over the place. They've got to exercise that demon.
Do we have little Hornets cruxes, if you will, where the Hornet's soul is actually placed in individual items all across the board? Maybe one. I do have Hornet. Yeah, go ahead and find one.
I do have a Kemba Walker Texas Charlotte Ranger. I do have this that I could.
Part of the Hornet's soul is in that. So there's a Hornet's crux there. I think there might be a Hornet's crux in the deflated blimp. There's also, I'll tell you where one is. Do you remember, I believe it was Jeremy Markovich, who does such a great job with Carolina Rabbit Hole, when somebody took a picture of the giant Hugo Hornets figurines that used to be on, I think, this billboard, or they used to advertise the Novant Health Clinic, and they were tossed to the side of the highway in this junkyard. I think Hornets cruxes reside within those big Hugo Hornets figurines. I think we could go on a hunt for Hornets cruxes, and if we found all of them, put all 7 together, then our playoff soul would return home to the Queen City. I like this. So
you said crux, and I heard crucifix, which is the joke that I was making there that I now understand was not the same. We weren't talking.
This
about
is Harry Potter. Thing. Yeah, probably
you were talking Harry Potter
in some
exactly.
ideologies. Yeah,
I think I think that there are several people who work in Spectrum Center now who think Spectrum Center is haunted, but they're just hearing Mitch Kupchak down the hall. He's going, oh, and they just think it's a ghost.
Is that a ghost? What is it? No, that's Mitch watching. He's
well.
The therapist is asking you, what did you hear last night? I keep hearing that we don't have any all-stars on this team.
We don't have any all-stars on this team.
I feel that. Oh, there it is. Did you hear that? All right, coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere!
I love this game. Let's look for more Hornets cruxes, shall we? And we can discuss whether we're jealous over some of the basketball that Ace Bailey has played in the preseason over there in Utah. We'll get to all of that coming up next, LOH. This episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. This is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. I love how the Peloton IQ system offers real-time strength coaching. It actually tracks your reps, suggests the right weights, and corrects your form, making every rep safer and smarter. The swivel screen is a game changer. You can go from running on the Tread Plus to strength training without missing a beat. And the personalized class recommendations keep you engaged, and you get workouts tailored to your vibe and energy level each week. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Yeah, more Hornet. Do you think there's a Hornets crux where the old Charlotte Coliseum was destroyed? You think somewhere there is the ghost of, I don't know, maybe like Hugo the Hornet with a butt swoosh, something like that? Like, I wonder if maybe some soul is there. I like the scavenger hunt idea. I bet you could have some fun with that in the Sicko Satchel / subtext where people just tell you where some of these souls are hiding.
You got to find the purple shirt.
Have to find the purple. You got to
burn the purple shirt.
Do you think I feel like he probably is. It's almost like I'm not as big of a Lord of the Rings guy, but it does feel like maybe purple shirt guy could be Gollum. And anytime he puts on the purple shirt, he just feels angry and he feels ornery. And then you take the purple shirt off, and all of a sudden he's actually a really nice guy beneath it all. Better yet, here's another question as my brain just goes to all of these spots. Do you think purple shirt guy still has the purple shirt?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It's a piece to talk about at parties. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's part of his identity.
How often does he wear it? Yeah, is it framed? Does he wear it?
I hope not.
The green bandana?
I hope not, because it's going to make it. If it's framed, it's going to make it much more difficult to break in and grab it and burn it.
How did it not?
I'm kidding.
That's
a joke. Too. That's a joke.
Yeah, please. We don't want that kind of influence. Let's move on. I went to a whole bunch of weird spots over there. You want to talk about Ace Bailey?
Yeah, he's having a hell of a preseason. He looks like he's got some tendonitis in both of his knees that he's working through, but he's 39 minutes in his second game, scored 20 points on 8 of 13 shooting. And then in his third preseason game, he had 31 minutes, 11 of 16 from the field. So that's 69%. Nice. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, and 2 steals. My goodness. Ace Bailey.
He looked very
playing
good.
Well. The Hornets did not draft him. Could have, did not. Do you have any regret about passing up Ace Bailey for Kon Knueppel?
I want people to understand what it is like to create content. When you create content, sometimes you just got to play the game. And playing the game means you got to bring up pretty ridiculous questions like, are we jealous of Ace Bailey after just 3 preseason games, one in which he didn't look great, and we found out about tendonitis in both of his knees? This is an important topic. This is an engaging topic. It's also one that logically speaking, you probably shouldn't change your mind on any prospect after 3 preseason games. You can start to maybe lean one way in terms of, oh, well, he's showing a few things I didn't expect against real-time NBA competition. Oh, okay, I didn't know he had that. Cool, like I really enjoy that. That's nice. But if you change your entire opinion off of what you've seen the first 3 preseason games, then that would be wild. Here's what I'll say about Ace Bailey. One, I think the Hornets were dealing with a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff off the court. And Ace Bailey was bringing a ton of baggage at that time, if you'll remember. And it just didn't feel like an environment that was ready for something like that here and now. So, no, I'm not jealous over not taking him because I do remember what it was like, the discourse, what it was like surrounding Ace Bailey. I like what Kon is giving us. I really like what Kon has given us in Summer League and what he's given us in preseason. So that helps me not become jealous over Ace Bailey. But all that to say, man, in those first 2 preseason games, he did look good. Like, he made nice reads, attacking closeouts, and then finishing with athleticism at the cup. Yeah, I look, all the credit in the world to what he was able to do with Utah, and he's going to get plenty of opportunities. It's why they dealt us Collin Sexton, so that they could open up the door, give him the red carpet, and say, here's the offense, do what you do. Ace Bailey did a lot with it those first 2 preseason games.
I think there are certain players that have undeniable talent, and you're sort of forced as an organization to build around that talent because it is so undeniable. And yet, that player will present questions about whether you could win with that player as the number 1 player on your team. In fact, people are asking a lot of those questions about the current Hornets number 1 in LaMelo Ball. So to bring Ace Bailey into this situation when you already have a LaMelo Ball and you've got a Brandon Miller at basically the same exact position you would play Ace Bailey in, and that Brandon Miller is coming off of an injury, is going to need a lot of touches to kind of get back into the groove. I mean, we've kind of seen that in preseason. It's been a little bit of a struggle. Think about that on top of having to answer a bunch of questions about, like, is Ace Bailey outplaying Brandon Miller and da-da-da-da-da. So none of those, though, are in and of itself reasons alone to not draft Ace Bailey. I think you throw in the off-the-court stuff, and I think that you throw in a genuine desire to add Kon Knueppel as part of your team, and I think you can put a package together that is a good defense of the Hornets not taking Ace Bailey. And if I would be jealous, I think, of some of this Ace Bailey scoring and rebounding if I hadn't seen Kon Knueppel do some special things, particularly with his passing, his driving, his ability to get to the cup. I mean, there have just been some things where I go, okay, that jumps off the screen. So that's a big phew, because you don't want to draft a guy in the top 5 where nothing jumps off the screen. So I'm more confident than ever that Kon Knueppel is going to be something in this league. If I didn't feel that way, then yeah, this conversation would be very different.
All right, that'll do it for Locked On Hornets. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free and available anywhere you get your pods. That includes YouTube. Go check out Doug on his Substack, everyhornetsboxscore.com, and then also go check out Yahoo Sports Daily with Jason Fitz and Caroline Fenton. I'm Walker Mail. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m., every weekday midday from 12 to 3 p.m. on 92.7 FM. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back with you tomorrow.